Keep yourself in the loop of everything football on the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast. The latest news on and off the field, be it college football, Big Ten, SEC, Big 12, Pac-12, ACC to the NFL. We've got you covered. Listen to the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the GSMC Football Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I am your host, Jeff Malinoff, and with me is Mark Souza yet again. We have a lot to talk about in Week 11 of the NFL, as well as college football, as well as a Monday Night Football preview also, probably the biggest Monday Night Football game of the year. So we'll just jump right into the games. Who do we have first on the market?
Yeah, I think we're going to start off with the Fox Sunday game of the week, and that was a contest between the Philadelphia Eagles, the defending champions. They roll into New Orleans in the Superdome to face Drew Brees and that vaunted offense who are clicking on all cylinders. And you know what, Jeff? The Saints really took it to the Eagles yesterday, 48-7. Yes, you heard that correctly, 48-7. Drew Brees, 4 touchdown passes as he continues his argument for MVP of the 2018 season. He takes another strong stance in that argument with his performance.
If he does not win MVP, that's a sham.
Well, there's a lot of games left, and there are a couple players.
No. If he doesn't win, it's a sham right off the bat.
There's a couple players tonight that might have an argument as they're pleading their case for MVP. But let's talk about yesterday. The Saints. We'll start with them. We'll start with the positive over the negative, which is the Eagles yesterday. Tell me what you saw from the Saints or what you continue to see from them.
There is no longer a doubt in my mind that they're the best team in football.
That's it? It's over? The referee says, stop the fight. They're the best team in football?
As of right now, they're the best team in football.
They're on a 9-game winning streak.
Do I need to explain any further? They beat the Rams, an undefeated Rams.
There's only one man that can stop the Saints, and his name is Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Oh, right. I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, oh, my God, that was the team they lost to in the first week.
They almost lost to the Browns, too. If the Browns would have had a kicker that could make a field goal, they would have lost.
Oh, my Lord, you're right. I completely forgot about that.
But it seems so far ago as the Saints have been crushing since that time.
After that close game with the Browns, I forgot that Gonzalez guy.
Yeah, Zane Gonzalez.
Is he still? Where's he doing now? Is he working at a grocery store?
Yeah, maybe.
I gotta look him up. But anyways, after that game, no prisoners.
Yeah, this team is firing on all cylinders. Kamara, Mark Ingram, and you know what, Jeff? We even saw one of their newer cast of characters, Traquan Smith, the rookie. He had 10 catches yesterday, 150 yards receiving for the young rookie, 157 to be exact, and a touchdown. 13 targets. He led the Saints, and this is what I love about Drew Brees. What I love about Drew Brees, yeah, he's got Michael Thomas. Yeah, he's got Alvin Kamara. Yeah, he's got Mark Ingram. But you know what? He always finds the player with the best matchup. If you're the hot player that day, if you're the wide receiver that the opposing teams are, maybe spending less focus on, he finds that guy. And we see it often with him. You'll see different players. So I'm very impressed that the Saints just continue to win. And they found a new wrinkle yesterday in Traquan Smith.
Yes, Traquan Smith has been extremely well as of late.
Mm-hmm.
And there's really, this team doesn't have any weaknesses, it feels like, anymore, does it?
Defense is getting a lot better, and I guess we could transition. That's a nice little segue there to the Eagles. Carson Wentz struggled mightily, 156 yards, picked 3 times, sacked another 3 times. I'm surprised he didn't get pulled, honestly, earlier in the game. He was struggling a lot in this football game from start to finish. And I think this is it for the Eagles. They're at 4-6. Are they done?
Yes.
Their division allows them to still be in the argument, though, right? Like, if they were playing in a different division, I'd say it's all over for them.
Possibly, but I still think this team is going
they're
nowhere.
only 2 games out of the lead, though, which is crazy. It gives them hope.
Yeah. Hope's a strong word.
I mean, they're 2 games back of the Redskins, and they play them twice. And as we know what happened yesterday, the Redskins will be using a backup quarterback the rest of the season. So for the Eagles, though, beyond their record, what's going on with this team? They are essentially the same team from last year's Super Bowl winning team, and they have looked nothing like that team. So what's going on?
I don't know what to tell you. That was the question I'm about to ask. I was going to ask you. Like, this team has literally no significant changes in their team going from this last season's Super Bowl victory to this season, and yet they're playing what could arguably be their worst football as of right now. They've just been
They've been a bad team. Yeah,
they've been bad. Like,
their defense is nowhere near the defense of last year, and like you said, they're mostly the same cast of characters, and they even added Michael Bennett. Like, you could argue that they added more than they've lost, and they are not nearly the same team, which maybe last year they just got hot. Would you say maybe there was just a fluke season? Not necessarily a fluke, but like, hey, a decent team, they found a rhythm, and they started playing well, but maybe they aren't built for the long term in the NFL?
I don't know any other reason. Like, I
think everybody's hands are up at this point. Like, no one really knows, right?
The thing is, I've heard of really bad starts for teams, or really bad like aftermath.
Super Bowl hangover.
Yeah, exactly. But this feels different. This feels like this team's like, okay, we got our Super Bowl. We finally won one for Philadelphia. What now? Like, they don't have a goal now, it feels like.
And for Carson Wentz, it's got to be really frustrating because, as we know, he was having an amazing year last year until he got injured. And then, they won the Super Bowl, but it's not really his Super Bowl. And he's struggled this year. Do you think it's a mental thing with him, or do you think maybe he's not physically all the way back?
He might not be physically all the way back because his injury happened so late in last season.
Mm-hmm.
So,
ACL, right?
Yeah. And after that, it's hard to bounce back. But, like, I don't know. I just think this team is just, like, they're trying to find an identity that they lost somewhere down the road. I don't know where it was or where it went, but something's lost.
Jay Ajayi got hurt earlier in the year, and they haven't really found another running back to kind of take over. I know they've tried different guys, but even yesterday, Josh Adams, he was the guy, 7 carries, 53 yards. He actually showed a little bit to me. He was impressive, but they haven't found that identity on offense, which is crazy. Golden Tate, he had a decent game yesterday, but they really haven't incorporated him as smoothly as I thought. Alshon Jeffrey was very subpar yesterday. But maybe the Saints are just that good. Maybe their defense is just getting that good. Let's move on, though. How about to the Cowboys-Falcons, Jeff? 22-19 win by Dallas as they go on the road. They beat a Falcons team, which is always a good team at home. Are you impressed with the Cowboys win?
I think fortunately they got that call at the end to move up the kick too.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of helped. So I'm gonna say no.
You're not impressed with the Cowboys win?
It's against a Falcons team that also is struggling since their Super Bowl loss 2 years ago. And honestly, like, we've seen this before. The Cowboys just somehow manage to get a win, but when it matters and when it gets to the end of the season, this team's not going to be in the playoffs. I truly believe.
You don't think the Cowboys will?
Mm-hmm.
But right now they're only a game behind the Redskins, who are now without Alex Smith.
Yes.
Someone's got to win that division.
I still don't.
You think the Cowboys or the Eagles have the better chance to knock off the Redskins?
I will still give it to the Cowboys, granted, but I'll still say the fact of the matter is there's a lot of holes in this team, and if this team does make the playoffs, I don't see them going
quick
far.
Exit, maybe.
Yeah, quick exit. This team just
they're flawed for sure.
Absolutely,
but they have Ezekiel Elliott, and their defense is pretty good. Like the Cowboys' defense, I think is underrated. They're one of the top 10 probably defenses in the NFL.
I'm just saying, there's more to it than Zeke. You got to do more, and we've seen how Prescott has kind of downgraded his play over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, he still isn't looking the most comfortable in the pocket. But Amari Cooper's addition, I think, has helped their offense a little bit. It gives them another dimension.
I hope it has.
Yeah. So the Falcons lose are at 4-6. Are they done?
Yeah.
They're
in the toughest. They're probably in the toughest division in the league.
They're done. Their defense is too bad. Their defense is not good.
Yeah.
It's hard to win 4 or 5 games in a row.
Their offense is also struggling, and you can't. This NFC South is the toughest in the NFL, in my opinion.
They'd have to win probably 5 of their last 6 games, and it's just not going to happen with that defense. It's just not. So, yeah, I think they're done. All right, so how about the Redskins-Texans? And in this game, the Texans win 23-21. But the story of this game, Alex Smith has a gruesome broken leg. He breaks both bones in his leg.
Fibula and tibia.
Fibula, yeah.
Oh, God.
Joe Theismann-esque injury. It happened 33 years to the day that Theismann broke his leg in that infamous play in NFL history.
That Monday Night Football game against the Giants.
It was on the same yard line, and it happened in a game where the score ended 23-21, both games. A lot of eerie coincidences. But, Jeff, we just have to talk about it. Can the Redskins still win the division with Colt McCoy? They have a 1-game lead. They have to play Dallas this week, and they play the Eagles 2 more times. They play the Eagles twice. They haven't played them once yet.
I'm sure they can, but it's not going to be easy.
Yeah, I don't know. They almost stole a win yesterday. I thought Colt McCoy came in and played well, given the circumstances. Not knowing that he was going to have to go in and play from behind and kind of thrown into it. And plus, it's kind of a shock when you see your starting quarterback and it's one thing to get carted off the field, Jeff. Like when, for example,
this was more than carted off the field.
For example, take earlier in the season when Jimmy Garoppolo tears ACL. The player is injured, but you don't know until the MRI happens. In this case, you don't need an MRI.
He needed surgery, and he gets surgery.
Exactly. So in your head, you're thinking, a lot of times when your star player gets carted off, you're thinking the best, right? Or you're thinking positively. But when you see Alex Smith's leg flailing around,
it was rubber. It looked like an elastic band.
Yeah,
it was gross.
At that point. Like it's kind of a shock. It's like, okay, well, not only is he out for this game, but he's out for a long time.
When you have that where it does that little jiggle,
yes,
it's
like that's not
bad.
A joint there. That's not a joint. It's supposed to be a straight bone.
That's the bones don't bend that. Bones don't do that.
So, and obviously unfortunate situation for the Redskins as they've had a great season so far, but man, they lose. They lose 23-21. The Texans, though, Jeff, quietly are 7-3 and are now in the conversation for a first-round playoff bye. They're in the conversation now.
I mean, the conversation is
them
good.
And the Pats,
Yeah, but I got to give the edge to the Pats.
For sure. But we'll see what happens. The Patriots, their last game that we saw them get dominated by a Titans team, who got dominated by a Colts team yesterday. So,
but fortunately, they were on a bye week this week, so they're going to come out refreshed and relaxed and loose.
So we'll see what happens. How about we talk about a game of a lot of words, and that was the Jaguars and the Steelers.
You mean between Antonio Brown and Jalen Ramsey alone?
Yeah, and we remember last year that playoff game where the Jaguars put up a bunch of points. Crazy game. But these two teams meet again yesterday. The Steelers pull out the win 2016. Roethlisberger scores a quarterback sneak, a quarterback run. Not really a sneak, but he runs around the end and he dives in.
Running is a strong word also to use.
Yeah, it wasn't the.
It was more of a trot.
You're never going to confuse Big Ben with like a Patrick
Tyreek
Mahomes
Hill.
or a Lamar Jackson type player. You're never going to confuse the two. Let's put it that way.
It was what's the word I'm looking for?
He galloped and fell and fortunately
galloped
the
is
ball.
even a strong word. Like that's a gallant horse. Like this was like a guy who just ran, who has never run in his life and just started to run and just didn't know how his body worked.
Who does it better? Tom Brady running for a pass or Ben Roethlisberger scrambling for a 2-yard touchdown run?
Well, one scored, the other one tripped on himself. So I'm going to give the edge to Roethlisberger.
Yeah, Roethlisberger at least put the ball over the goal
All right,
line.
here's the question. Who's the most unathletic quarterback in the NFL? Would you give it to Brady or would you give it to Roethlisberger?
Roethlisberger, because Brady's at least like 41 years old. Roethlisberger's been this way like all of his career. Like at least Brady used to be a little bit more agile.
Yeah.
No, not that he was Mike Vick, but I mean, still, Tom Brady was like a decent athlete. Roethlisberger's always been like kind of bigger, like maybe a little bit bigger than you would expect a quarterback to look like.
He's a little overweight. He's like a Jamarcus. He looks like Jamarcus Russell. Let's get it right.
At least Tom Brady's like incredible shape, right? Like he takes care of himself very well. I'll give him the edge there.
Yeah. Have you seen the ads on like Instagram and stuff of him doing his like the weird like at home gym thing?
I think I did see something like
where
that.
he does the elastic band, and he has probably the most gorgeous wife in the world.
Is he eating avocado ice cream when he's doing those exercises?
I've never.
What's this thing? He eats avocado ice cream.
Is that healthy or is that
ugly? It's healthy and probably not that great compared to regular ice cream.
Avocado and ice cream should not be mixed together. I put avocado on all my sandwiches, though. Love avocado to death. I never eat it with ice cream.
I guess you just got to freeze it and maybe it... I have no idea. I can see the consistency, though. Like, I can see it being used, like, in ice cream form, but... Yeah. Anyways, the Steelers win. The story of this game for me, and you can correct me if I'm wrong or add on to it, the Jaguars' offense did not help that defense. That defense played a great football game. They held off the Steelers as much as they could. But you score 16 points off of 3 turnovers, dominate the Steelers. Steelers punted a ton in this game. And Blake Bortles had 100 yards passing, Jeff. What's going on? Is it time to move on from Blake Bortles?
Time to move on from Blake Bortles.
10 of 18 for 100 yards.
The answer is absolutely yes.
Mm-hmm. How about James Conner? He did not have a great game, and he dropped a crucial touchdown pass that almost cost his team a win. This happens, of course, during the week that Le'Veon Bell has, officially told the Steelers he's not playing this year. He's not signing. So James Conner, he struggled a bit. He did not have a good game, but Steelers
he kind of almost cost them the game, in all honesty.
He dropped that easy touchdown. He was very fortunate that they won that game because I think a lot of people would have been pointing the finger at him today.
Yeah, that would have been the worst timing ever. What do you think? Yeah?
Yeah, but speaking of timing, we still have time before tonight's Monday Night Football game. And if you need to get your bets in, if you want to place any wagers, you can do that tonight. You can do that right now, actually, for tonight's game at BetDSI. BetDSI.com has over 20 years in business, top rated, and is safe. Check out BetDSI.com and check out this special offer for followers of the GSMC Football Podcast. BetDSI is offering up to $2,500 free on your first deposit. All you have to do is use promo code Football18. That's Football18 to claim this limited time offer for friends of the podcast. BetDSI has great customer service and fast, easy payment of your winnings. So play, win, and get paid now. Hundreds of wagering options. You can play virtually every sport at BetDSI. I like to play football, but of course, basketball, baseball, any other sport that you enjoy, they have lines and wagers that you can make there. BetDSI even has live in-game wagering on all major sporting events. Make your play at any time during the game. So again, use Football18 and try betdsi.com now. That's betdsi.com. Go there now and start winning today.
And I bet all this betting will give you some gray hairs on your beard and hair and the top of your head. Well, I got the perfect solution for you. Harry's Shave Set. What makes Harry's a perfect gift set also for the holiday season is it makes a long-lasting quality product at a reasonable price. Harry's gets a 4.5 out of 5-star rating on Trustpilot. It's a practical gift that your loved one will actually use. As a special offer for fans of this show, the GSMC Football Podcast, we partner with Harry's to give you $5 off any shave set, including our limited edition holiday sets, perfect for gifts. When you go to harrys.com/GSMC Football, plus you'll get free shipping. This offer is for new and returning customers and is only available for the holidays. Each Harry's shaving set comes with an ergonomic weighted handle with an option to engrave, German-engineered 5-blade cartridges that provide a close and comfortable shave. I can attest to this because I just used it recently, and it's a really good shave, actually. Foaming shave gel for a rich lather, which feels really good on your skin, trust me. A travel cover to protect your blades, and a handsome holiday gift box. Or you just want something for yourself? Redeem Harry's trial offer to experience the quality of shave before even committing. Get your holiday shopping done early. Free shipping ends on December 12th. It's coming up soon, so act now. Go to harrys.com/GSMC Football to get $5 off a shave set. Set while supplies last. That's harrys.com/GSMC Football.
Check out the show that's built on the MMA, from the UFC to extreme cage fighting. They got the fights covered. Check out the GSMC MMA podcast. Get the latest news on past or upcoming fights. Join us as we talk to and about some of the biggest names in the MMA, past, present, and future. When it's the fight game, there's just one show to check out. GSMCpodcast.com/MMA-podcast. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
And welcome back to the GSMC Football Podcast. We just have been going over the Week 11 matchups in the NFL that happened on Sunday. We got some more games to go. What's our next game on the list, Mark, my friend?
Yes. So last night, Sunday Night Football on NBC, we saw the Chicago Bears hosting the Minnesota Vikings in an NFC North clash. Very important game when you look at the division outlook right now. The Bears take the win, 25-20. I would venture to say this is probably the biggest game in Chicago in, years, right? I mean, when's the last time the Bears played a game this late in the season that was crucial? It's been a while.
It's been a while since it's been a while. Been a very long time.
So tell me what you saw from this game.
I saw a lot. I saw potential Super Bowl team in there. Mm-hmm. Who knows? Like, there's been some unexpected turns to this point, and I think that's one of them.
The Bears kind of feel like the Eagles last year.
Yeah.
Where their defense is really dominant, and their quarterback is young, but, like, trying to figure it out.
Well, the thing is, Carson Wentz had an MVP-like season before he got hurt. Mm-hmm. Mitchell Trubisky's having, like, a...
It's not MVP level, but it's still really good.
It's a decent...
He's getting better, too, week to week, so...
Yeah, and I will also say, the Bears' defense looks to be elite.
Yeah.
Which... was
no
not
question about that.
Yeah. But the offense has also put up some huge numbers.
The offense is figuring it out, but the one thing, Jeff, that we know about football is that defense travels very well. Offenses can kind of come and go. Maybe one day you're not having it. Maybe you're in a slump. But we know that defenses usually maintain consistency. And when you talk about playoffs and you talk about winning games on the road, winning games even at home, if your defense shows up, you got a great chance.
Yeah, and Khalil Mack is one of those guys, like we talked about at the beginning of the season, how he is the guy that can make other players better, but this is a whole nother level. Like, this is a whole nother level.
I think he's definitely front runner for Defensive Player of the Year again.
If he doesn't get it, it's a travesty, in my opinion.
He had another forced fumble and recovery yesterday. It seems like he has one every game. He was just flushing Kirk Cousins out the pocket all night. Kirk Cousins ran for his life. Kirk Cousins
felt very uncomfortable. You could tell.
Yeah, Cousins ran for his life. He only got sacked twice, but he had to throw the ball away numerous times. He got hit numerous times. The Vikings offensive line was having their problems protecting Kirk Cousins. But, yeah, for me, the story is that defense. That defense just gave the Bears such a boost. And it was a relatively easy win. The scoreline will only show you a 5-point win. But, the Vikings scored 2 touchdowns late when they were down. They were down 16. So they lose the game. The Vikings lose. The Bears now have a 2-game lead in the NFC North. And for the Vikings, are you still confident that they're a playoff team? Even if they don't win the division, do you think they make the playoffs?
That's a tough one because this NFC is looking very deep.
I think they'll still make it, though. They have a good team.
You think so?
Yeah, their defense is pretty good.
What do you think their record? What do you think their final record would be?
That's a good question. Without looking at their schedule, I think they'll get to 9 wins. I think they'll be 9-5-1.
9. Oh, right. They have a tie. I forgot.
Or 9-6-1. Excuse me. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. 9-6-1.
I think
is not bad.
I think that'll do it in the NFC. I think you'll get the last playoff spot if you do it. If you get there, we'll see. There's a lot of football left. But yeah, let's move on to Ravens-Bengals. We saw the first start of former first-round pick Lamar Jackson yesterday for the Ravens as Flacco's out injured. They actually get the win in his first start. He didn't have to throw the ball a ton, but he ran the ball a ton. 27 carries for the rookie quarterback. 13-19 passing for him for 150 yards. But again, 27 carries, 117 yards. Gus Edwards also added 115 yards on 17 carries. The Ravens just dominated on the ground.
Yeah, and you don't see it that often, especially with that team.
Agreed.
And they kind of costly to win in this situation, is it not?
It'll be costly if Lamar Jackson gets injured running the ball. I don't see how they can sustain him running that many times every game. I feel like he's going to get hurt if they continue to play like that. But for at least in a 1-game vacuum, it looked good.
I know, but do you think they have a chance to enter the playoffs? Like
the Ravens?
Yeah.
I think they do because their defense is really good. And even if Lamar Jackson continues to be the quarterback, I mean, who's their competition for the playoffs? I mean, the Chargers, I think we can give the Chargers a wild card.
Absolutely, 100%.
So then for me, it's the AFC South, right? Like the Colts, the Titans, the Dolphins. That's the teams that are in the playoff hunt right now. The Colts, the Titans,
the Colts have been
Dolphins,
looking impressive,
and the Bengals, and they just beat the Bengals.
Oh, right, the Bengals. I forgot about them. Do we count them? I mean, they've been playing pretty sloppy.
They've been losing games.
I feel like as soon as they got Hugh Jackson in their coaching staff, they kind of lowered in talent.
Get Hugh Jackson, immediately lose games.
Doesn't it feel like that though?
Kind of.
Come on, when he was with the Raiders, they were losing left and right.
So let's transition to another game that has possible playoff implications. We just talked about both these teams. The Titans went to Indianapolis. The Titans, who came off that big win against the Patriots, they get absolutely crushed by the Indianapolis Colts, who have been playing very well lately. 38-10. Andrew Luck had 3 touchdown passes, 23 of 29. Very efficient game for Andrew Luck. Marlon Mack had 61 yards and a touchdown. Tell me what you saw yesterday. The Colts looked absolutely dominant.
The Colts looked more like a serious Super Bowl contender. They looked like T.Y. Hilton looked like an all-star.
They're all of a sudden 5-5.
Go play.
They were 2-5. They've won 3 in a row. T.Y. Hilton, like you mentioned, 155 yards. He always shows out against Tennessee. You want to know something crazy? Tennessee has never beaten Andrew Luck. They're 0-10.
Huh.
Yeah.
With Andrew Luck.
Andrew Luck has never lost to the Titans.
I don't know what to say to that.
That's crazy. So
They're in the same division, aren't they?
they are, yeah. So
How do you not beat them once?
Yeah, well, when he plays that efficiently, 23-29, I mean, Andrew Luck's hard to beat when he's playing like that. And T.Y. Hilton, like we just talked about, had that great game. He really shows out against Titans. He has his fun with Adoree Jackson. Every time him and Adoree Jackson get together, it seems like he has a big, big football game. So, do you think the Colts are now a legitimate playoff contender? I'm not talking higher than that, but just playoffs. Are 5-5.
Yes. Yes.
Tennessee's also 5-5.
No. Marcus Mariota. I would pick Andrew Luck over Marcus
Mariota got injured again, so we know how this goes with them. We know how this goes. When he's hurt, that team doesn't play very well, and they don't win games. When he's healthy, they beat the Patriots. Like, they're very up and down. So, all right, let's move on. Giants and Bucks. You know, we talked about this game last week.
I just need to say one name. Saquon Barkley.
Saquon Barkley, yeah. We talked about this game kind of being a sneaky, high-scoring affair, and it was. Barkley had 3 touchdowns. He had a huge, huge game. Fitzpatrick got benched. Another tough start for him. Winston comes in. He leads a rally. It comes up short. But again, Jeff, is it now Jameis Winston's turn again in Tampa Bay?
This is just a never-ending cycle of disappointment. If I'm the Buccaneers, I'm like, can we just sign let's get E.J. Manuel in here. Why
Nathan
not?
Peterman is available.
I'm not that desperate because
Yeah.
at least what's his name? Fitzpatrick. Sorry, I just blinked on his name for some reason. Fitzpatrick and Winston not Winston, but Fitzpatrick has had some good games. So I'm going to still start Fitzpatrick because he has a chance to pass for over 400 yards still. Because he's
Winston's
done that.
you think they'll go back to Fitzpatrick? They got to go to Winston now, right?
Winston has been way worse than Fitzpatrick. Oh, they both been terrible. Like, can we just combine them? Can we do like a Dragon Ball Z fusion
They
dance?
both put up a ton of yards, but
I
throw
think
picks all the
they
time.
should be doing a Dragon Ball Z fusion dance, and they just become.
I don't even know what that is, to be honest with you.
Do you not watch Dragon Ball Z?
I don't.
Okay, fusion is where 2 same power levels can connect, and they become one person and be more powerful.
Oh, wow.
And then their names kind of mix together. So it'll be like Winspatrick.
I see.
And since they're both terrible, fusion ha, and boom, they fuse together and make Winspatrick.
So then that would be a
become even
mediocre
worse.
NFL quarterback?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see.
Better than what they got.
So Barkley had a huge game. We talked about it. That kid, if he gets a good offensive line to run behind, I wonder what he could do. I wonder if he could be the next Todd Gurley type player. What do you think about that? If he can get a decent offensive line,
Gurley,
like that type of player, because he can do it all, right? He can catch, he can run, he's fast, he's powerful.
yeah, but he can be his own player. He can
Sure.
be his own goat. You know what I mean? Like that's it.
He's got the talent to be one of the best for sure. All right, cool. So
I haven't seen a guy like this in a long time.
Yeah.
This is like Damian Tomlinson-esque.
So both teams are now 3-7. And let's move on. Broncos-Chargers. I think this might be the most interesting result at the end of yesterday's games. The Broncos come from behind. They kick a game-winning field goal to steal a win 23-22 in L.A. Chargers fall to 7-3. Broncos are 4-6. So, were you surprised by this?
A little bit. Philip Lindsay had the game of his life, almost, basically, against a very good defense in the Chargers. But, again, I don't see this team making a playoff spot, so this only hurts them, in my opinion. Like, only hurts them for getting a high draft pick.
Yeah, I mean, they're 4-6. I think Vance Joseph, the coach of the Broncos, is just coaching for his job. At this point, we've heard rumors of him being fired, and I think wins
There
like this
are
will
even
help.
players that are thinking he's going to get fired, so...
Rivers had 400 yards passing, but he threw 2 picks, a couple costly interceptions. Melvin Gordon didn't have his normal big game. He was subdued a little bit, only 69 rushing yards. But yeah, the Broncos, I thought, played really hard yesterday, and I thought the Chargers played a little bit down to their competition. So we'll see how it goes from here on out. We need to take a break, but Before we get to that break, I want to talk to you a little bit about tonight's game, and we'll preview it on the next segment. But if you need to make a bet for tonight's game, and right now it's currently a 3-point spread. The Rams are favored by 3 over the Chiefs. It's going to be an exciting game. A lot of points are expected. But BetDSI.com is where you need to go to place your wagers. BetDSI.com is over 20 years in the business. It's top rated and it's safe. You got to check out BetDSI.com and check out this special offer that we have for friends of the GSMC Football Podcast. BetDSI is offering up to $2,500 free on your first deposit, but you have to use this promo code Football18. That's Football18 to claim this limited time offer. Again, the game is at 5:30 tonight Pacific time, so go ahead and go now and place those wagers. BetDSI has great customer service plus fast, easy payment of your winnings. So play, win, and get paid. Hundreds of wagering options. You can play virtually every sport at BetDSI.com. So even if NFL isn't your thing, college football, baseball, basketball, they have it all. BetDSI even has live in-game wagering on all major sporting events. So make your play at any time during the game. Again, fans of the podcast, use promo code Football18 and try BetDSI.com now. That's BetDSI.com. Go there now and start winning today.
And also, the holiday season is coming up, and the hardest gifts to give are to your fathers, your brothers, the men in your life, because they don't really show what they want or what they want to get. But Harry's Shave Set is that option for you. Harry's Shave Set is a practical gift you'll actually use. It's a long-lasting, quality product at a reasonable price. You could personalize it even to make it feel special. Choose a color that's right for him. Now with limited edition holiday handles and personal engraving options. It's ready to gift. Sets come in a handsome holiday gift box. Get sets starting at $10. 100% quality guarantee. As a special offer for fans of this show, the GSMC Football Podcast, we partner with Harry's to give you $5 off any shave set, including our limited edition holiday sets. When you go to harrys.com/GSMC Football, plus you'll get free shipping. This offer is for new and returning customers and is only available for the holidays. Each Harry's shave set comes with an ergonomic weighted handle with the option to engrave, German-engineered 5-blade cartridges that provide a close and comfortable shave. I've used this blade. I've used the cartridges. They are great. I got smooth skin, no problem shaving. I didn't really have much of an issue. It was very easy. It was one of the quickest shaves I've ever had, to be honest. A foaming shave gel for a rich lather, a travel cover to protect your blades, a handsome holiday gift box, or you just want something for yourself? Redeem a Harry's trial offer to experience the quality of shave before even committing. Get your holiday shopping done early. Free shipping ends on December 12th, so act now. Go to harrys.com/GSMC Football to get $5 off a shave set while supplies last. That's harrys.com/GSMC Football.
Check out the show that's built on the MMA. From the UFC to extreme cage fighting, they got the fights covered. Check out the GSMC MMA podcast. Get the latest news on past or upcoming fights. Join us as we talk to and about some of the biggest names in the MMA, past, present, and future. When it's the fight game, there's just one show to check out. GSMCpodcast.com/MMA-podcast. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
And welcome back to the GSMC Football Podcast. We are talking about Week 11 matchups in the NFL, the National Football League. We are going into Lions and Panthers now, and you would never guess who won.
Yeah, Detroit with the upset win, although they were at home, so an upset for sure. Panthers go for 2 at the end of the game to try and get the win. Riverboat Ron, you know how he likes to gamble. Well, this time it didn't work out for him as Cam Newton's pass falls incomplete, and the Lions take a 2019 win. Cam Newton did leave temporarily in the game with an ankle injury. He came back. Something to monitor for the week coming up.
I don't think it was that big of a deal. I think it was just a little brief, little twerk.
Yeah, it looked like he's probably sprained his ankle, but he was able
I
to
wouldn't
play.
even say that. I think it was just a little tweak. You know what I mean? Just not too big.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, something to watch out for this week coming up on the injury report. But the Lions, they are now 4-6. Impressive win, in my opinion, because Panthers have been playing very well.
Yes, the Panthers are doing very well, and they obviously have a chance to get into the the NFL playoffs. But they are in a very tough division, and with the best team in football, the New Orleans Saints, or possibly the best team in football, the New Orleans Saints, going into a one-loss. Mm-hmm. They might even go 15-1. We don't know.
They're in a good spot though for playoffs. So.
Wild card. I don't think that's out of the question at all. I think they have a firm control on the wild card spot.
Yeah, and then the last game from the action yesterday was the Raiders' last-second win, 23-21 over the Arizona Cardinals. We saw Derek Carr and John Gruden going back and forth with each other on the sideline at different points of the game. Two competitive people. Interesting to see what they were upset about with each other, but the Raiders ultimately get the win. Just a very ugly football game, what you would expect from these two teams. Josh Rosen completed 9 passes in 20 attempts. He had 2 picks. David Johnson had a pretty good game for the Cardinals, but ultimately not a lot to talk about here. Like I said, the Raiders win 23-21. They now move from having the number 1 pick. If the draft were today, they'd have the number 1 pick. They now have moved to the number 3 pick.
That's
with just
pretty
one win.
big drop, honestly.
Mm-hmm. So
it's a dangerous drop.
So the what is it? The Bosa Bowl, is that what we're calling it, or the?
I don't think he's going. I don't think it's guaranteed he's going number 1. Is it? I know it's. I know it's a big possibility, no doubt about it. But there are a lot of great players. Like Ed Oliver might even take the number 1 spot. We don't know.
Yeah,
I know he's had people are like, oh, he's hard to coach because of that one incident. I think that was more of a. I don't know what the coach was doing that. I think he was just a little upset, like, why are you worrying about me and not the game type of thing. I think that was.
We'll see what happens, but it sounds like, I mean, at least at this point, Bosa is the consensus number 1. But yeah, I mean, players can move up or down.
But he's also coming off an injury, and he's also like not playing the rest of the season for Ohio State. That I think that has cause for concern.
Yeah, but no one's going to care when they draft him, to be honest with you, because it's not a major injury, and it's not like a knee injury or something like that. Mm-hmm. The point is, when he played even this year, he was dominant. So
I think he's just like, I don't want to get injured and get more seriously injured and lose my opportunity.
That's exactly what he's doing. So let's move on to the Monday Night Football preview. Now we have
game of the year by far.
Yeah, we have the Los Angeles Rams hosting, not going to Mexico City for this game, as the game has been moved, hosting the Kansas City Chiefs in L.A. A game between 2 9-1 football teams, 2 Super Bowl contenders. I think we could agree on that. It's a big game, Jeff. What are you looking for tonight's game?
Points, and more points.
Yeah? No defense?
These two are the top offenses. Their defenses are good, no question about it. But this is mainly 2 of the best offenses going at it.
Big time. We have 2 players who are in the argument for MVP, at least Offensive Player of the Year, and that's Todd Gurley for the Rams and Patrick Mahomes for the Chiefs. If you had to give the award to one of these 2 men right now, who would you pick?
I might have to go with Mahomes.
It's close.
It's very close.
It might determine who plays better today, So we'll see what happens, man.
Will this game show where the MVP is going to go? Like, whoever wins this game, that team's going to be the MVP?
Well, Breeze has a big argument over New Orleans, but I would say that these 3 men are in conversation right now.
Oh,
Breeze,
no question.
Mahomes, Gurley. I'm not sure if there's another player out there that's in the conversation. Earlier in the season, Thielen had an argument, but his numbers have dropped off, so he's not in the running. A guy like Brady, he's struggled this year compared to seasons past, so he's not in the conversation. Mm-hmm. I think it's those three right now, head and shoulders above the rest, but we'll see. Do you think that the Chiefs will be able to contain Todd Gurley tonight?
That's an interesting question, and I don't think so.
Yeah, he's really hard to stop.
And Todd Gurley, and the Kansas City defense is not a rushing defense. It's more of not a defense.
Their defense has been getting better, though.
Yeah.
Especially rushing the passer. The thing is with a team like Kansas City, they're ahead a lot, so it's easier to play defense when you're winning. Mm-hmm. So their defense is usually in good situations. So,
yeah.
But the Rams...
I'm just saying Todd Gurley is at a level where he's going to be hard to stop regardless of where he is in the game. You know what I mean? Like, just from first to fourth quarter, he's going to be a problem.
All right, fact or fiction? Kareem Hunt has more total yards than Todd Gurley tonight.
Tonight?
Yeah. Fact or fiction?
Fiction.
Fiction? Okay. It's interesting because I think both these guys are going to pile it up, So it's like, who will get that one last big play or something like that, maybe. Mm-hmm. Okay. Fact or fiction? Jared Goff throws for as many touchdowns or more than Patrick Mahomes tonight.
Give me fiction.
Fiction? You think Mahomes will have more passing touchdowns tonight?
Yeah. Or yards. It's going to be one or the other.
Okay. All right. So what are you looking for tonight? Like, we know that these two teams are really good, but we know that they have weaknesses. Mm-hmm. When you're looking at the Rams, what do they need to show you tonight other than winning the game that would make you wonder if they're actually the best team in the NFL?
Wow, that's actually really tough. Because they're both so good, this is like, on paper, this is one of the most evenly matched up, evenly matched up, evenly
matched teams?
Thank you.
There we go.
I have ever seen, because they're like, their points per game, the quarterback's yards are almost identical, the touchdowns are almost identical. Like,
the offenses are very identical too. They use a lot of 3-receiver sets in both of them.
Yeah, like, you can get
jet sweeps.
They could switch jerseys, and you can easily mistake them for the other.
Yeah, I think maybe the quarterback difference is probably the biggest difference. And Kelsey, obviously, the Kelsey doesn't have a counterpart on the Rams, a tight end who's like physically dominating like him. But Brandon Cooks and Tyreek Hill are pretty close. Mm-hmm. Kareem Hunt and Todd Gurley are pretty close. I would say Tyreek Hill
has the speed advantage in that one, though.
Yeah. But Kareem Hunt and Gurley are close. Like, they're both all-around, do-it-all running backs. They can run, they can catch, they're fast. Can
you imagine if you had a 1-2 punch of Kareem Hunt and Todd Gurley?
Yeah.
Your head would explode.
That's pretty legit right there. If you had that combo, if you could get both of those players.
I know that sounds I know that's impossible, but especially in fantasy football and the real life. So.
Yeah. All right. So who do you like tonight?
Give me the home team.
I think you, what was the score that you predicted?
Give me 35-34, 1-point margin victory for the Los Angeles Rams of Anaheim, Chicago.
If I had to pick,
I'm glad you got the reference.
Since you're going with the Rams, I think it's such a close game. It's a coin flip for me. I'll take the Chiefs. I'll say Chiefs 44-41. And if that happens, Jeff, I think that this heavyweight fight would live up to the hype if we saw 85 points tonight and a 3-point win. I think that would live up to it. I think it would be like the pay-per-view event that you buy.
What if we combine our scores together? It's like 80-something to 70-something. 76 to 80 to 76.
So who will be your player of the game tonight for the Rams? Is it going to be Gurley?
Yeah, it has to be.
Okay. I think Kelsey presents a matchup problem for the Rams. I don't know who covers him for the Rams. And we know that Rams secondary has had issues. Both teams have issues there should be a lot of offense. So I'm going with the Kansas City Chiefs, 44-41 on the road. And if they win this game, they might have an argument for best team in the league. Anyways, Jeff, what do you say we go to a break? We come back.
I would love to go to a break.
We got college football as we are approaching the final week of the regular season in college football. So we'll recap some of the games, the notable games this last week, and look ahead to see what the college football playoffs might have in store for us.
Check out the show built around the women of MMA. From the UFC to the extreme cage fighting, we got the fights covered.
Listen.
It's the Golden State Media Concepts Women's MMA Podcast. The latest news of upcoming fights, discussions of previous matches. Join us as we talk to and about the biggest names in women's mixed martial arts, past, present, and future. When it's the women's fight game, you know where to listen to the Golden State Media Concepts Women's MMA Podcast.
And welcome back to the GSMC Football Podcast, our final segment of the day. Let's get into it. The AP College Football Rankings were released, and we have some notable moves. The College Football Playoff ones, I believe, are yet to be announced, or they haven't changed at all, either one. Mm-hmm. But we have UCF going from number 11 to number 8 in the AP polls.
No chance.
I know. But it's good thinking. At 10-0, though, do you think they should be above, like, West Virginia and, like, because they're 2 losses? Like, I know West Virginia lost. Do you think they're going to stay at number 9?
I think UCF will stay where they're at or go higher if they don't lose, but they're not going to get in the top 4. So maybe they'll finish like 6.
And then there's a Utah State team that's 10-1.
Yeah. Big year for them. Didn't see that coming.
So technically, we should be seeing Utah State in the top 10. If it's based off records.
Yeah, maybe. But let's talk about some of the games. We saw Clemson take care of Duke 35-6.
Surprising no one.
Solidifying their spot at number 2 again. Seems like they're just going to cruise right into the playoffs.
UCF handles number 24 Cincinnati.
They did, 38-13.
Does this prove that there might be a real deal team?
Real deal. Like, I think they're a really good football team, but I wouldn't say that they're a top... I'm not going to say they're a top 10 college team. I'm not. Not yet.
Okay.
They just don't play enough. Like, Cincinnati's a good win, but it's a 24-ranked team. Like, I don't know.
Still ranked.
Yeah.
Texas over Iowa State 24-10.
Mm-hmm.
Oklahoma over Kansas with 55-40, and now they have Les Miles as their head coach. The Kansas Jayhawks do, so maybe that puts them into maybe a top 25 spot going into next year. Who knows?
Maybe.
LSU dismantles Rice 42-10, and Washington handles Oregon State 42-23.
Yeah, we got to talk about the game with the 2 highest seeds playing each other. Notre Dame demolishes Syracuse 36
Sorry, you were going to say it.
Oh, it's all good. 36-3 at Yankee Stadium. We saw Notre Dame wearing those pinstripe uniforms.
I liked them. What did you think?
I think they're cool, but they're like a cool jersey or a uniform for that game, but I think they would be terrible if that was like their normal
They wouldn't fit their actual home games, but I thought they were pretty cool for the scenario that they were in.
Mm-hmm.
And, okay, we got to talk about Citadel versus Alabama.
That game was relatively close
for
a while.
It was tied at halftime. It was 10-10, and then the Alabama fumbled the ball at the first possession of the second half. Citadel got the ball, and then it went downhill from there. Turnover touchdown after turnover touchdown. 27 points in the third quarter alone by Alabama puts them firmly ahead, 50-17 in their win. But Citadel had a chance to win this game.
They were just in that game for way longer than anyone expected, really.
Do you want to hear something absolutely absurd?
Yes.
The quarterback, you want to hear the quarterback stats for Citadel?
Yes.
Want to guess them?
No.
0 for 2. He had 2 passing attempts this game.
Wait, they only threw the ball 2 times?
Yes.
The whole game?
Yes, they had 0 passing yards the whole game.
We're talking about a whole
An entire
game.
game. No, they had 275 rushing yards, and that was it. That's their only yards. They had
How does that even happen?
They had one running back go 9 attempts for 130 yards and 2 touchdowns against Alabama, which is actually extremely impressive. And then they had a guy with 25 attempts and 79 yards. And then they had another guy, fullback, 10 attempts. Oh, I'm sorry. The quarterback ran for 25 attempts.
Yeah.
Then the fullback ran for 10 attempts, another running back for 8 attempts, another fullback for 4 attempts, another running back for 1 attempt, and another other running
So
back
they
for
ran
3
the
attempts.
option all game is basically what happened.
Yes.
So look again.
And then the receiving end, one guy got 2 targets.
Yeah, so receivers shouldn't go there. Should play somewhere else.
That running backs feel free to end up there. Oh my Lord! But I've never seen a 0 all across the board for a quarterback before.
So this is a week. See what I did there? In college football. But this week coming up, we have some big matchups. I mean, USC Notre Dame doesn't carry the weight that it has in years past because USC is struggling at 5-6. But Michigan, Ohio State, number 4.
The big game. Let's go.
Yeah, number 4
Seriously,
Michigan.
let's go to this game.
Number 10 Ohio State. Ohio State, they escaped with a win against Maryland. But now they will have their hands full. But Jim Harbaugh has not beaten Urban Meyer. Do you think this might be the time?
He has to.
We have other big games too. Auburn, Alabama again. This year, Auburn is maybe not as strong as they have been in years past, but the Iron Bowl always brings out the best in these two teams. So we'll see.
Do you see an upset of this game?
No. I don't see Alabama losing this year at all. I don't care who they're playing.
So you're saying they're winning the national title?
Yeah.
Okay.
If they lose a game, it'll be like an incredible upset, no matter who it is, even if it's a number 2 team, in my opinion. So, we see Clemson against South Carolina. Again, that should be a win for Clemson. But yeah, that Michigan-Ohio State game is going to be huge. Syracuse and Boston College play each other. Washington and Washington State, number 8 against number 18. That's a big game. And number 6 Oklahoma against number 9 West Virginia. Now that is a big game. Obviously, if Oklahoma wants to get the top 4, they got to win.
This is rankings before the college football ones have been released because West Virginia did lose, so I don't think they're going to be number 9 for long.
Right.
But yes.
Yeah, Oklahoma, if they want to get in, if they want to have a shot at make the playoffs, they obviously have to win and probably do it convincingly. So, all right, we'll see what happens. We'll cover those games later on in the week too as we approach closer to Saturday. Big week in college football. As we know, we have a lot of teams at the top that have an argument to get in the college football playoffs. And you know, this is a time of year where what do they say in college football? It's not who you lose to, it's when you lose. You can't lose at this juncture and be okay. Maybe Alabama could, but that might be the only school that could lose at this point and still make it to the Final Four. So we'll talk about those games later on, but thank you again for joining us today. Please visit us tomorrow as well. And of course, check out the GSMC Podcast Network. If you are interested in other sports, we certainly have those covered, and you can find them there. Jeff, anything?
Nope, that should do it. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you whenever you feel like tuning into the GSMC Podcast. Later.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.